The silent battle. Living with PTSD. They say war ends when you come home. But for some of us, the battle never stops. I wake up before the sun, drenched in sweat, my heart pounding like I'm still out there. The dreams aren't dreams, they're memories. The gunfire, the screaming, the fear. The past plays on repeat in my head, refusing to fade. A car backfires, and suddenly I'm back in the sand, back in the chaos. My body reacts before my mind does. My breath catches, my fists clench. I know I'm safe, but my brain doesn't. It tells me to run, to fight, to survive. Crowds feel like a trap. I scan every room, every exit, every stranger. My back can't be exposed. My mind won't rest. Loud noises aren't just sounds. They're warnings. My body tenses at every slam of a door, every burst of laughter, every unexpected sound. Sleep is a war of its own. Nights stretch endlessly. The second I close my eyes, the memories creep in. The ones I wish I could forget. The ones I relive, over and over. I wake up gasping, drenched in fear. People say, just let it go. Move on. It's over. But how do you move on when the past won't let you go? Some days I feel normal. Some days I don't. And on the worst days, I wonder if I'll ever be myself again. I push people away even when I don't want to. I smile, even when I feel empty. I stay silent, even when I need help. I tell myself I'm fine, but I know I'm not. The weight of it is always there, pressing on my chest, slowing my steps, filling my thoughts. I hear laughter, but it feels distant. I see joy in others, but I can't feel it myself. The world moves forward, but I'm stuck in a moment I can't escape. I want to explain it to people, but how do you put this into words? How do you describe a war inside your own mind? I avoid the questions, the pity, the concern. I'm okay, I lie, because the truth is harder to say. The truth is, some days, I feel like I'm losing. But then I remind myself, I survived before, and I can survive this too. Healing isn't easy, but step by step, day by day, I keep going. Because I am more than my past, more than my pain, more than my fear. I am still here. And that means I still have a chance to fight. I won't let the past take my future. I won't let the darkness win. I am not alone. And neither are you. Somewhere out there, someone understands. Someone else is fighting the same battle. And if they can keep going, so can I. Maybe healing doesn't mean forgetting. Maybe it means learning to live with the scars, not being defined by them. Maybe it means realizing that the war inside doesn't have to last forever. I am still here, and for today, that is enough. Bipolar disorder. The two sides of me. There are days when I feel invincible. The world moves too slow for me. My mind races ahead, ideas exploding like fireworks. My energy is endless. Sleep? Who needs sleep? I can do anything. I can be anyone. I talk faster, think bigger. I chase dreams with a hunger that feels unstoppable. Everything is brighter, sharper. I feel alive in a way that no one else seems to understand. My confidence is sky high, and for a moment I believe I can fly. But then, just as quickly as it came, the light fades. The rush disappears, and suddenly I crash. The weight of the world slams down on me. The energy drains. The motivation vanishes. Getting out of bed feels impossible. The same world that once felt full of possibilities now feels empty, meaningless. I try to remember the fire I had just days ago, but it's gone, replaced by a crushing sadness I can't explain, a silence that suffocates me, a darkness that won't let go. People don't see the switch. They don't understand how one day I'm on top of the world and the next, I can't even lift my head. They don't see the war inside me, the battle between extremes. They tell me to calm down when I'm high. They tell me to cheer up when I'm low. But they don't know what it's like to be trapped in this cycle, to feel like I'm not in control of my own mind. It's exhausting, it's unpredictable, and sometimes it's terrifying. But this is my reality. Some days I fight it. Some days I give in. Some days I wonder if I will ever find balance. But I remind myself, I am not just my highs, I am not just my lows, I am not just my illness. I am still here, still fighting, still trying to find the middle ground between the two sides of me. Maybe I'll never be normal. Maybe I'll always walk this tightrope between mania and depression. But maybe, just maybe, I can learn to manage the storm. Maybe I can find stability in the chaos. Maybe I can accept that I am more than my disorder. I am not just bipolar. I am a person, a fighter, a survivor. And no matter how many times I fall, I will always rise again. Schizophrenia. A mind divided. There is a world inside my mind that no one else can see. A world where shadows whisper my name, where reality bends and shifts in ways I can't explain. Some days, I can't trust my own thoughts. They twist and turn, playing tricks on me. I hear voices that aren't there. I see things that no one else sees. I question what's real and what's not. And the worst part? Sometimes I can't tell the difference. I walk through life carrying a secret battle. To others, I may look distant, distracted, lost in my own world. But inside, it's chaos. My mind is a puzzle with missing pieces, a story that changes with every page. They call it schizophrenia. But to me, it's like living in two realities at once. One where I exist with everyone else, and another that only I can see. There are moments when I feel like I'm drowning in my thoughts, when paranoia creeps in, and every glance, every whisper, every movement feels like a threat. I try to tell myself it's not real, but the fear is. The fear is always real. People don't understand. They think I'm dangerous. They think I'm broken. But I am not a monster. I am not violent. I am not my illness. I am a person trying to hold on to reality, trying to fight the confusion, the fear, the voices that won't stop talking. Some days I win. Some days I don't. Some days I wonder if I'll ever be truly free from my own mind. But I remind myself, I am more than this, more than the voices, more than the hallucinations, more than the stigma attached to my disorder. I am still here, still fighting, still searching for clarity in the storm. I know there will be days when I feel lost, when the noise in my head is too loud, when the lines between real and unreal blur beyond recognition. But I also know there is hope. Hope in the quiet moments. Hope in the people who stand by me. Hope in the strength I carry even when I don't feel it. I am not my illness. I am not a lost cause. I am not alone. I am still here. And that means I still have a chance to fight. Depressive disorder. The weight I carry. I wake up, but I don't feel awake. My body moves, but my mind stays heavy. The world feels distant, like I'm watching it through a fogged window. Everything continues, but I am stuck. It's not just sadness, it's emptiness, a numbness that swallows everything, a heaviness that sits on my chest, making every step feel like dragging 1,000 pounds. I want to care, I want to feel, but I can't. The things that once brought me joy now feel like hollow echoes of a life that doesn't feel like mine anymore. I tell myself to get up, to keep going, to push through. But some days, even breathing feels like a chore. Even existing feels like too much. People ask what's wrong. I don't have an answer. How do you explain a sadness with no cause, a pain with no wound? How do you tell them that nothing is wrong yet everything is? They say, just be positive. Snap out of it. Other people have it worse. But they don't see the battle I fight every day. They don't hear the thoughts that whisper, you're not enough. You're a burden. You don't matter. I know they're just thoughts. I know depression lies. But in the darkest moments, those lies feel like truth. So I fake a smile. I say I'm fine. I go through the motions, hoping no one sees how broken I feel inside. But I remind myself, I have survived every bad day before, and I can survive this one too, even when it feels impossible, even when I don't believe it, even when the darkness tells me otherwise, because depression is a liar, and I am more than the weight it puts on me. I am still here, and that means I still have a chance to fight. Even if today all I do is breathe, even if today all I do is exist, that is enough. Because I am more than my pain, more than my sadness, more than my illness. I am still here, and for now that is enough. Anxiety disorder, the storm inside me. It starts with a thought, small, insignificant, then another, and another, until suddenly my mind is racing, spiraling out of control. My heart pounds in my chest, my hands shake, my breath comes too fast, too shallow. It feels like I can't get enough air, like the walls are closing in, like something terrible is about to happen, even when nothing is wrong. But that's the thing about anxiety. It doesn't need a reason. It doesn't wait for danger to be real. It creates it. It turns everyday moments into threats. A crowded room, a trap, a ringing phone, bad news, a simple mistake. Proof that I'm failing, that I'm not good enough. I tell myself to calm down, that I'm safe, that it's just in my head. But my body doesn't listen. My mind doesn't stop. People say, relax. You worry too much. There's nothing to be afraid of. But they don't understand what it feels like to be trapped in a mind that won't turn off. Anxiety is exhausting. It steals my peace, my focus, my sleep. It makes me second-guess everything I do, everything I say, everything I am. Some days it whispers. Other days it screams. And on the worst days, it drowns me. But I remind myself, I have felt this fear before, and I have survived it, every single time. Anxiety tells me I can't, but I can. Anxiety tells me I'm weak, but I'm not. Anxiety tells me I'm alone, but I know I'm not. I'm still here, still breathing, still fighting, even when my hands shake, even when my heart races, even when my thoughts try to pull me under. Because I am more than my fear, more than my panic, more than the voice in my head that tells me the worst will happen. I am still here, and that means I still have a chance to fight, one breath at a time, one step at a time. I will not let anxiety define me. I am more than this storm inside me. The eating disorder, the war with my own reflection. I stand in front of the mirror, but I don't see what others see. I see flaws, imperfections, a body that never feels good enough. I pinch my skin, trace my bones, measure my worth in numbers, calories, pounds, inches. Food is not just food. It's the enemy. It's control. It's guilt. It's obsession. Every bite is a battle. Every meal, a war between what I want and what my mind allows. Some days, I eat nothing at all. The hunger is painful, but in some twisted way, it feels like an achievement. Other days, I eat too much, then drown in shame, searching for ways to erase my mistake. I tell myself I'll stop, that tomorrow will be different, that I'll eat normally, think normally, feel normal. But tomorrow comes, and the cycle continues. They tell me to just eat, to stop worrying, to love myself. But they don't understand. This isn't about food. It never was. It's about control, about feeling like I have power over something when everything else feels out of reach. It's a voice in my head that never stops whispering, telling me I'm too much, telling me I'm not enough, telling me I need to fix myself, shrink myself, become something else, someone else. Some days I listen, some days I fight back. But I remind myself, I am not my disorder. I am not a number on a scale. I am not the lies my mind tells me. I am more than this battle with my body, more than this fear of food, more than this constant war with my own reflection. I am still here. And that means I still have a chance to heal. Healing won't be easy, but neither was living like this. I am learning that food is not my enemy, that my body is not something to be punished, that I deserve nourishment, strength, and peace. I am still here, and I am more than enough, just as I am. ADHD, a mind that won't sit still. My mind is a storm, thoughts rushing in, crashing over each other, moving too fast for me to catch. One second I'm focused, the next I'm lost in a new idea, a new distraction, a new world that no one else seems to see. I want to sit still, to listen, to finish what I start. But my body doesn't listen. My brain doesn't cooperate. I fidget, I tap, I move, as if energy is bursting from inside me, desperate to escape. Concentration feels like a game I never win. I try to focus, but everything pulls me away. The sound of a clock ticking, a thought about something I forgot, a notification on my phone, 100 unfinished tasks waiting for me. People think I'm careless, lazy, irresponsible. They don't see the effort it takes to keep up, the frustration of knowing what I need to do but not being able to do it. They don't see how hard I try, how exhausting it is to force my mind into silence, how discouraging it is to start 100 things and finish none. They tell me to just focus, just sit still, just try harder. But they don't understand what it's like to fight your own brain every single day. Some days I feel unstoppable. My mind races with creativity, ideas flowing like a river. I hyper-focus, losing track of time, pouring every ounce of energy into something I love. But other days I feel stuck, lost in the chaos of my own thoughts. Tasks pile up, deadlines loom, and no matter how hard I try, I just can't keep up. I forget things. I lose things. I say things without thinking. And every mistake feels like proof that I'm not enough. But I remind myself, I am not broken. I am not lazy. I am not a failure. I am different. My mind works differently, and that is not a weakness. I am still here, still learning, still growing, still finding ways to thrive in a world that wasn't built for brains like mine. ADHD is not a flaw. It is not something to be ashamed of. It is part of me, but it does not define me. I am more than my distractions, more than my mistakes, more than the struggles people see. I am still here, and I am enough exactly as I am. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, trapped in my own mind. The thoughts come uninvited. They whisper, they shout, they repeat over and over until they are all I can hear. What if I left the door unlocked? What if I didn't wash my hands enough? What if I made a mistake and something terrible happens because of me? I tell myself it's nothing, just thoughts, just fears. But they don't go away. They stay, they grow, they take over. So I check the door, again, and again, and again. I wash my hands until my skin burns. I fix things, count things, repeat things. Because if I don't, the thoughts will win. People think OCD is about being neat, about liking things in order. They don't see the panic, the fear, the exhausting battle of trying to quiet a mind that never stops screaming, "What if?" They don't see the hours lost to rituals, the moments stolen by fear. They don't see how exhausting it is to fight a war against your own thoughts every single day. I know the compulsions don't make sense. I know checking the lock one more time won't stop the worry. I know washing my hands again won't erase the fear. But in the moment, it feels like the only way to breathe. I want to stop. I want to let go. But OCD doesn't listen. It convinces me that if I don't do it, something bad will happen, and I can't take that risk. Some days I fight back. Some days I don't. Some days I feel like I'll never be free. But I remind myself, I am not my compulsions. I am not my intrusive thoughts. I am not the fear that tries to control me. I am still here, and that means I still have a chance to fight. OCD tells me I have to obey, but I don't. OCD tells me I have no choice, but I do. OCD tells me I will never be free, but I refuse to believe that. I am more than my fears, more than my rituals, more than the thoughts that try to control me. I am still here, and I am stronger than OCD. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD. The world feels different to me. The world moves too fast, too loud, too bright. Every sound, every light, every detail floods my mind all at once, leaving me overwhelmed before I can even process what's happening. People talk, but their words don't always make sense. Their faces shift, their tones change, and I struggle to understand what they mean beyond what they say. Conversations feel like puzzles with missing pieces, and no matter how hard I try, I always feel a step behind. Small talk is exhausting. Eye contact feels unnatural. Social rules that seem effortless to everyone else feel confusing and forced to me. They say I'm too quiet, too blunt, too focused on the wrong things. But I don't see it that way. My mind just works differently. I notice details others overlook. I see patterns where others see randomness. My interests consume me, filling me with a passion so strong that I could talk about them for hours. But sometimes, no one wants to listen. People call it a disorder. They say I lack something. But I don't feel broken. I just experience the world in a way that most people don't understand. They tell me to act normal, to be more social. But why should I change who I am to fit into a world that doesn't make space for me? Some days I feel invisible. Some days I feel misunderstood. Some days I wonder if I will ever truly belong. But I remind myself, I am not less. I am not broken. I am not wrong. I am different. And different is not a flaw. I may struggle with things others find easy, but I also see beauty where others don't. I may need space to recharge, but I also have a mind full of creativity and ideas. I may not always fit in, but that doesn't mean I don't have a place in this world. I am still here, and that means I still have a chance to be understood. Autism is part of me, but it does not define me. I am more than a diagnosis, more than a stereotype, more than what the world expects me to be. I am me, and that is enough. Sleep disorders, when rest feels impossible. The world sleeps, but I don't. The night stretches on, endless, silent, heavy. I close my eyes, but my mind stays awake, thoughts racing, worries circling, memories replaying. I turn over, I shift. I count the hours until morning, hoping that this time, maybe, sleep will come. But it doesn't. Some nights I lie awake, staring at the ceiling, waiting for rest that never arrives. Other nights, sleep comes in short, broken fragments. Never enough, never deep enough, never restful. And then there are nights when sleep is a battlefield, when dreams turn into nightmares. When I wake up gasping, heart pounding, drenched in fear I can't shake. Morning comes, but I don't feel refreshed. The exhaustion clings to me, slowing my steps, clouding my thoughts, making even the simplest tasks feel impossible. People say, just go to bed earlier. Try to relax. Drink tea. But they don't understand what it's like to fight for something that should be natural. They don't understand the frustration of lying awake while the world sleeps peacefully. The exhaustion of dragging yourself through the day on nothing but empty energy. The fear of sleep itself when nightmares make it a place of terror instead of rest. Sleep is supposed to heal, to restore, to reset. But for me, it feels like a battle I can never win. Some nights I fight it. Some nights I give up. Some nights I wonder if I will ever know what true rest feels like. But I remind myself, I have survived sleepless nights before, and I will survive this one too. I am more than my exhaustion, more than my restless mind, more than the sleep that refuses to come. I am still here, and that means I still have a chance to rest, to heal, to find peace, even if it takes time. Sleep may not come easy, but I will not let it break me. I will keep trying. I will keep hoping. I will keep going. Because I am more than my sleepless nights, and one day I will wake up and finally feel rested. Paranoia. Trapped in my own thoughts. I feel it before I can explain it. A presence, a shadow, a sense that something isn't right. I look over my shoulder, scanning every face, every movement, every sound. My mind races through possibilities. What if they're watching me? What if they're following me? What if something bad is about to happen? Logic tells me I'm safe, but my mind doesn't listen. It builds stories, connects dots that aren't there, turns harmless glances into threats. The walls have ears. The phone lines aren't secure. Strangers aren't just strangers. They're dangers waiting to unfold. I check doors. I check windows. I make sure no one is behind me, no one is watching, no one is waiting. But the fear doesn't leave. It lingers, whispering that I need to be more careful, that I need to stay alert. People say I'm overthinking, that I need to relax, that I'm imagining things. But they don't know what it's like to live with constant doubt, to question everything, to feel like I can never let my guard down. It's not just fear. It's not just worry. It's a weight pressing on my chest, a voice convincing me that danger is closer than I think. Some days I can ignore it. Some days I can silence it. But other days, it consumes me. I want to trust. I want to believe that the world is not as dangerous as my mind tells me. But how do you fight a fear that feels so real? But I remind myself, I have lived with this fear before, and I have survived it. Not every glance is a threat. Not every shadow hides danger. Not every thought deserves my belief. I am more than my paranoia, more than my doubts, more than the fear that tries to control me. I am still here, and that means I still have a chance to fight back, one thought at a time, one breath at a time. I will not let fear define me, because I am more than my mind's worst-case scenarios. I am stronger than my paranoia,